Hello everyone, Jai Hind and welcome back to Gyanonymous School in the UGC NET lecture series, that is UGC NET live lecture series on criminology. We are discussing Unit 4 in part 1 of Unit 4. Actually, we have discussed about various theories including drift and neutralization theory of Kaich and Matza, where we have learned about various drift and neutralization, like denial of responsibility, about denial of injury, how people deny or how people stay in a comfortable, how people be comfortable when even after doing the crime, or how people often drift in between crime or in between delinquent behavior and normal behavior. There is something called condemnation of condemner and even appeal to loyalty. So these are drift and neutralization theory. Now today we are going to discuss about containment theory. So before beginning with the containment theory, or beginning with this 1.5x for your better experience, so let's move ahead with containment theory. So containment theory is actually associated with Walter C. Reckless. You should remember the name Walter Reckless. uh, Reckless actually, he asked if people experience pleasure or maybe temptation and opportunities for crime, what prevents them from offending. If actually people, he asked a simple question: if people actually get pleasure from crime, if they are thrilled by crime, and even if they are getting so much opportunity for crime, what prevent them from offending, what prevent them from doing the criminal activities. So he asked himself that question, and he was answered individuals actually protected by various internal and external containments, that this can be said as containment systems, which prevents someone to go into a delinquent way. So this system is called containment systems. So if we go to understand containment, let's imagine an individual who is standing inside, let's say in a very protective boundary. Okay, in that outside boundary of an individual, there are social pressure, maybe temptations, maybe various criminal opportunities also, various delinquent gang influences also in that outside boundary. Wherever in the inside boundary, there is various parameters like self control, maybe conscience, maybe positive values which is imposed on by family values, or like that. Maybe his education or her education, maybe family support, and even some kind of social responsibility. So these what are outside boundary and inside boundary, these are protective forces who actually contain the individuals and reduce the likelihood of crime. So these factors actually contain the individuals inside that boundary, like social pressure, temptation, even criminal opportunities, or maybe delinquent influence, which are in the outside, and inside are self-control, conscience, maybe positive values, family support, and social responsibility, etc. These are factors which contain someone inside that boundary, or contain someone to going into a delinquent way. Now going to various outside containment or outside or external pressures, they can be like, external pressures can be like poverty, maybe unemployment, maybe family conflict, or social discrimination even, or maybe various kind of financial stress, or exclusion from the society. These are actually external pressures or external parameters which can create frustration as well as strain inside that individual. These actually called external pressures. Okay, there can be some external pulls which pulls the individual towards delinquent world, towards the world of deviance. There can be like various kind of delinquent brains, or maybe criminal gangs and groups, maybe various illegitimate financial opportunities, maybe some kind of drug networks, or even peer pressures, or maybe kind of attraction for quick money. Now actually people or particularly some section of youths are more interested in quick money than in going through hard work. It is not just now, or this is not about generation. It has been since the inception of modern history, that more people, or particularly some people, are attracted into quick money. So these are actually external pulls. A person actually he may be pulled towards crime by various promises, maybe promise of status, maybe promise of wealth, maybe due to excitement, or even by group acceptance, if he is accepted in certain groups. So these are called external pulls. Okay, and now what can be like inner containment? Inner containment can refer to what are internal strengths which can help an individual to resist towards crime. There can be like self control, maybe strong conscience, maybe let's say positive self image, even stability or emotional stability inside him, maybe his responsibility towards himself, towards the society, or towards his family. Maybe he is or she is able to manage his or her frustration. There may be kind of moral values imposed on him or on her due to family values, due to society, or by family values, or by society, or maybe by education. So these are self-control, moral values, responsibilities, or maybe positive self-image. These are inner containment. Let's say a person may actually he face financial hardship, but he refused to steal something because he may have strong moral belief. He may have, like, he is educated in such a way that moral belief or moral values are built in him, and he, despite whatever hardship he may go through, he may not go into a deviant way. So this is called inner containment. What is outer containment? Outer containment, it can refer to support and control provided by the society. They can be like supportive family, maybe effective school system, maybe community supervision, maybe even positive peer groups, or even employment, if someone had suitable or respectable employment, and even social acceptance. Also the important factor is law enforcement. If the enforcement of law is very good, if law is very much implemented, and people will be afraid to go in such way. So a strong family or maybe a strong community may actually help an individual to resist onto negative influences. Let's go with another example, like let's say two young people again who may be facing the same opportunity to participate in an online fraud. The first person actually refuses because why? Because he may have some moral values. His family, the first person's family may provide some guidance to him. The person, he values his education, and he values his career goals and his aims. On the other hand, there can be another person who has delinquent peers, who has friends who exert pressure on him, like, let's do it, like a group dynamics. Okay, his family supervision is also weak, his attraction for quick money is very strong, so the second person actually joins to that online fraud. So here the containment theory actually examines why the first person is protected while the second person he become vulnerable to delinquency. So this is what internal and external containment is. In simple formula, we can say if anyone has strong inner containment and strong outer containment, he or she has greater resistance to crime. On the other hand, if he or she has weak inner containment and weak outer containment, then there is greater vulnerability towards crime. So containment both from within oneself and from the society or from the surrounding, that is inner and outer containment, both are very much necessary for someone for resistance to crime. Okay, if it is very weak, both the inner control and the outer containment, then there is more possibility that someone is going into a delinquent behavior. So this is what containment theory is. Containment theory, despite very useful or even easy to understand, it is it explains the deviant act from individual point of view and also from the society. However, it has various flaws. It has various criticisms, like self-image concept, or maybe conscience concept, or social pressure. These can be very difficult to measure scientifically. So from empirical point of view, this theory is very difficult to prove. So this is what uh, the containment theory is. Let's now move ahead with another theory, that is social bond theory. What is social bond theory? It's very important from exam point of view of UGC NET, and even if you are just studying criminology or want to be a criminologist, the social bond theory and its proponent, that is Travis Hirschi. This name is very important, and it often comes in question of UGC NET. What is social bond theory, and or maybe who is the proponent of social bond theory? There will be a lot more options, and Travis Hirschi is one of them. So the social bond theory was actually developed by Travis Hirschi. Hirschi actually asked questions like, why do people conform to social rules? Why people obey social rules? Why people get confined into social rules? He just asks that simple questions. Some people violate, but he asks on the contrary, why people conform? Why people respect the social rules? And he got the answer like, people obey social norms or social rules because they are bounded by society. He just simply got that human beings are social animals. Since they have to be in the society, so they have to obey the rule of the society. When these social bonds, according to him, when these social bonds are strong, individuals are more likely to follow rules. When the social bonds like family, relationships, and social values, they are very strong, people are more likely to follow the social rules. And when these bonds becomes very weak, the possibility of delinquency may increase. When social bonds, like bonds of relationships with neighbors, with acquaintances, with various social elements, or with various institutions, when they becomes very weak, delinquency may, or possibility of delinquency may increase. So according to Travis Hirschi, he propounded four major elements of social bonds. That is, you again remember. Actually, I remember everything from criminology with abbreviations. So Travis Hirschi, we identified four major elements of social bond is ACIB, that is attachment, commitment, involvement, and belief. ACIB. So let's understand each one of attachment, commitment, involvement, and belief. What is attachment? Attachment, actually it refers to emotional relationship, which is very much of importance with people to people relationships, and with in between people and institutions relationships also. So attachment can be like in between parents, in between family, with teachers, attachment with friends, even with school, I mean peers in the school, or within the community. Let's say a young person who respects parents and teachers, he may or she may avoid delinquency because the person actually do not want to disappoint the people who is around them, with whom he is or she is being attached to. He is or she is not likely to disappoint his or her parents, his or her family, or maybe teachers, friends, and even his or her community. Like if there is a group proposal or kind of opportunity to go into vandalism in a student group, there are a lot more students, but some of them may reject. One or two students may reject because they even say that no, I will not go to do that particular work or do that particular vandalism stuff because my parents trust me, because my teachers trust me, and I don't want to break that trust. So this attachment is very important. It is what is bonding and what is acting as social control. So this is what attachment is. And what is commitment? Commitment, it means investment in controversial, in not controversial, in conventional goals. Actually my writings are sometimes very much difficult. Okay, commitment means actually investment in conventional goals. It can be like, conventional goals can be like education, like career, employment, even maybe professional reputation, or even with family responsibilities. His job in a very much committed way, maybe professional reputation in the discharge of his duties in his job. He is kind of a reputed person in his office or maybe in his society, so he don't want to break that. Who a person actually who worked hard to build a career, he or she may avoid crime, because one criminal behavior can destroy his entire whatever he built through hard work, or any of his future opportunities. So here she actually described this as having stake in conformity. Okay, he described this as stake in conformity. For example, a government employee who may refuse to participate in corruption. Someone may refuse to accept corruption or accept a bribe because that person do not want to lose a career. He do not want to lose. He don't want to get fired if he or she get caught, or he don't want to lose his pension. So this is what we call commitment. And now what is involvement? We have gone from ACIB, we have got attachment and commitment. Now let's go to involvement. What is involvement according to Hirsi? Involvement actually, it means participation in legitimate and socially approved activities, like involvement in education, involvement in sports, maybe employment, maybe community service, maybe cultural activities, also some voluntary involvement like in creative work or maybe in community work. So these are called involvement. A person who is actually very much involved in constructive activities, he or she may have actually very less time or maybe fewer opportunities for delinquency. He is so much involved in that particular work or particular hobbies or particular service or particular activities that he likes or he is actually involved in. He has less time or less opportunity to go into delinquent way. Let us be certain about the fact that involvement is not actually being busy. Okay, if someone is doing 9 to 5 job, he is getting involved in some work. If someone is busy on something, let's say busy on watching news or watching social media, he may not be involved. Okay, so involvement is something you are doing from your heart, or maybe because of your need, or because of your goal. So involvement also creates positive social relationships and also responsibilities, which makes a bond. Involvement actually make a bond and not let you to go into delinquent way. So this is what involvement, as the name goes. I hope it is very easy to understand. Now coming to Travis Hirsch's another point, that is belief. What is belief? Belief actually it refers to acceptance of social values, acceptance of laws, acceptance of moral rules, etc. A person who may obey law not because of fear of punishment. Okay, most of the person obey law not because of fear of punishment, because that person actually believes that the rule are important and legitimate, and they are important for the society, to hold the society together. So this is his belief. For example, someone found a lost mobile on the street, he may just return it to the nearest police station or the nearest community hall, because he may think, or she may think, that keeping someone else's property is it's very wrong. Okay, so this is what belief in simple terms is. So easy to memory formula I have given you, that ACIB, always remember. So after you watch this lecture, you remember Travis Hirsch's social bond theory with just the simple theory of ACIB, that is attachment, commitment, involvement, and belief. So you will be understanding this. As the name goes, attachment, commitment, involvement, and belief, you will be able to easily understand them. And these are stronger social bond. So this is what the theory of social bond of Travis Hirsch. If we go with the contribution, it goes the same. It is important because it actually explains why people commit crime. It highlights the importance of family, the importance of education, community, even social participation, moral values, etc. So this theory actually influences juvenile delinquency prevention. It influences school-based interventions. Also, this is very important in community policing, also family support programs. Despite very much positive influences, this theory is with criticisms too. It has some limitations, like some people who is with very much strong social bond still they may be going into criminal behavior. It happens sometimes. Strong bonds may sometimes actually connect people to criminal groups. These strong bonds, or these strong family bonds, if he is not in a good environment, these strong bonds actually can be contrary, or he can be in a very bad criminal group if that neighborhood is so. This theory may not actually fully explain various crimes, like organized crime, crimes like corporate crimes, political crimes, and various types of white collar crimes. This theory actually cannot explain. So it focuses more on conformity rather than on criminal motivation. This theory is more on just getting bound, or getting inside the social bond, or breaking the bond, etc. So this is what social bond theory. If we go to now compare with various theories like drift theory, we have learned from David Mazza. He said it about that individuals may move between conformity and delinquency. I hope you remember David Mazza's drift theory from from our previous lecture, that is part 1 of this lecture. We have also studied neutralization theory of Mazza and Sykes, where they says that offenders actually justify or neutralize the guilt. Next, there is containment theory, where Walter Reckless, he says inner and outer containments or inner and outer controls protect individuals from crime. We have just learned today. Also, lastly, we have learned about social bond theory of Travis Hirschi. He says strong social bonds which can promote conformity and repeal criminality. So Travis Hirschi is going with what? ACIB. So for UGC NET quick revision, the important theory can be Davis Mazza's drift theory and Mazza and Sykes neutralization theory, containment theory by Walter Reckless, and social bond theory by Travis Hirschi, that is ACIB. Important concept can be drift. Drift means what? Do you remember what does drift mean? Drift means just a moment between conventional and delinquent behavior. The moment, the to and fro moment between conventional and delinquent behavior. Neutralization, neutralization means the justification of wrongdoing. If someone justifies wrongdoing, this come with neutralization of Davis and Mazza's theory. Containment, we have today learned about internal and external containments, and social bond, that is this ACIB. So there can be questions like drift theory is associated with whom, which theory explains how offenders justify or neutralize guilt. There can be containment theory developed by whom, or which of the following is a not element of Travis Hirschi's social bond. This question often comes. Okay, this is a repeated question. The ACIB, attachment, commitment, involvement, and atavism. These 4, but out of these 4, there can be something missing. Like ACIB, there can be like atavism. Okay. So here atavism is not an element of Travis Hirschi's social bond. Atavism is actually it comes from Lombroso's theory. Okay, so such tricky questions may come. Questions like appeal to higher loyalties, it is associated with whom or which theory? Do you remember? It is related to neutralization theory of Sykes and Mazza. So I think that's all. In these 2 lectures, we studied major social control theories of crime. These theories actually teach us that crime is not only about criminal motivation; it's also about strength and weakness of the control that connects individuals to the society. We learned about drift, neutralization, containment theory, social bond theory. Yes. So what is the central message of this 2 lecture? These 2 lectures actually says that strong social relationships, strong moral values, strong self-control, even family support, and commitments like education and even community participation, these can act as protective force against crime. So that's it. So in the part 3 of UGC NET live lecture 4, we will discuss various social conflict theories like leveling theory, radical criminology. About conflict criminology, we also study about critical criminology, and we will also study about realist criminology. So that's all. If you find today's lecture useful, please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Gyanonymous School, and share with your fellow UGC NET aspirants as well as anyone who wants to be a criminologist. So thank you for joining today's live lecture. See you in the part 3 of lecture 4. Jai Hind, Vande Mataram.